Stories from the Tall Tales Club. Episode 3, Gone Without a Trace, by Joe Potts.
I'm closer than ever to completing a fully functional prototype of my teleporting apparatus. I've been working on it for 20 years, but success is within arm's reach. Then, the Nobel Prize, not to mention a smattering of fame, will be mine.
Really, Professor Moriarty, are you quite sure Sherlock Holmes isn't about to hurl you into the Reichenbach Falls?
It's Dr. Moriarty, Doctor. As you full well know, Lady Jane, I hold a PhD in both physics and engineering, and therefore I prefer the title of Doctor. It's true, I'm a professor at the university, but I prefer Doctor. Besides, it's not my fault that I share a name with an infamous fictional villain.
I lifted my coffee cup and took in the tantalizing aroma. The air was ripe with promise and caffeine. A perfect recipe for a fine day at the club. This particular afternoon at the 4th Avenue Club for Travelers and Storytellers, FACTS, held great potential, as we weren't blessed by Dr. Moriarty's presence very often. I felt sure the Tall Tales Club, as it was popularly known, was about to live up to its name. No need to check which movie was playing down the street. I'd be spending the afternoon right here in my comfortable chair, with coffee, pastries, music, and a tall tale.
Just a minute, Dr. Moriarty. Wasn't this souped-up microwave the start of your downfall way back when?
Thank you for your tact, Mr. Beaumont. Yes, I had a setback, but I'm respected in my field. I have done important research.
Pascal Beaumont had hit an exposed nerve. Moriarty had been something of a child prodigy, and great things had been predicted for him. Such early praise and prophecies can be a heavy burden and the worst kind of curse. After a solid start, his career had floundered, and much of the trouble could be traced to the damage to his psyche over the teleporter fiasco. He now struggled to attain tenure at the university, which most thought would be his over a decade ago.
No one doubts your, stellar career, but Brother Beaumont has raised a great prospect for the afternoon. If you could be so kind, we'd love to hear the true story of your, transportation contraption, whatever it was, whether magic carpet or reindeer-drawn sleigh? To set the record straight, young man, once and for all. Or at least for us.
Our beloved jolly founding member and guiding light, Colonel Krinkle, was adept at setting the right tone for the day. His cheery manner had diffused many a tense moment. His kind ways and light-hearted attitude were infectious.
Maybe you're right, Colonel, as you usually are. This august assembly deserves the truth, I suppose, more so than the collection of cackling yokels at the university. Let's see, where to start? This was about 20 years ago, when I was a young assistant professor at our local bastion of higher learning.
Don't forget, Doc, I was there. I better hear some straight shooting about that showdown.
Lexi Larsen was a modern version of the old Wild West sharpshooter, Annie Oakley. She could shoot a dime balanced on a unicorn's horn at 500 yards. She had crossed paths with Moriarty years ago and was quite capable of holding his feet to the campfire.
Yes, Miss Larsen. I recall you were part of the entertainment that evening, shooting up everything in sight. I don't believe a bottle or can made it out of there alive.
Lexi packed a lot of interesting living into her years. She had gained a modicum of fame by elevating shooting demonstrations to an art form. She then leveraged her celebrity status into creating a personal protection firm. Her presence at the club always made for a lively afternoon. I rarely skipped out to watch a movie when she was there.
Too bad for you she didn't shoot up your teleporter gizmo. That might have been your saving grace.
Lady Jane, there may be more truth in your witticism than you know. As it turned out, though, my saving grace arrived much later.
Just tell the tale, Doc. I'll poke holes in it as need be.
That won't be necessary. I'll shoot straight, as you would say. Anyway, it happened the year the commissioners were trying to spice up the county fair.
You mean save it from its deserved demise?
Possibly so, Lady Jane. Whatever the motives, the fair had quite an illustrious entertainment card that year. Bull riders, popular country singers, Miss Lexi Larsen and her blazing six-shooters. Also appearing was a young magician, just starting his journey toward fame. Watkins, now known, of course, as the Astonishing Watkins. And last and decidedly least, a fresh young physics professor, yours truly.
And exactly how did that come about? Science nerds are usually boring, not entertaining.
Thank you for that observation. It's true, my adventures aren't as exciting and varied as the famous Pascal Beaumont. But I've known Willie Watkins since we were kids, long before he was astonishing. He was just mildly perplexing back then. We used to monkey around with magic tricks. When the fair booked him, he asked if I'd like to be involved with his act.
Nothing warms my heart like seeing little ones tinkering with their toys.
Yes, Colonel, I'm not surprised. Willie, of course, knew I was tinkering with something else, field equations that would lay the groundwork for one of mankind's dreams, namely, true teleportation. Imagine beaming ourselves anywhere we want at the speed of light. It seemed like a good subject for a carnival trick, so I built a fake device to entertain the crowds at the county fair. A box with lots of flashing lights and spinning discs and beeping and buzzing. Willie built a secret compartment in it for an object to be hidden when we claimed we had teleported it. On the first evening of the fair, we played to a sold-out crowd.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you've enjoyed my little display of magic and mysticism. And now, you're in for a rare treat. Tonight, you're going to see history in the making. You're about to witness the first documented case of teleportation. Our own resident genius has made a breakthrough for the ages. Please give a warm welcome to City University's Dr. James Moriarty.
Thank you, you're too kind. My fellow citizens of this great county, what you are about to witness is not simple or even complicated, legerdemain. You will see tonight the marvels of modern science as none have seen before. If I may ask the stage hands to kindly roll out to stand with my teleporter. That's right, gentlemen, right over here. And now, also roll out the receiver unit to the opposite side of the stage. Fine. Thank you.
And now, please help me welcome our special assistant for this incredible demonstration of scientific hocus-pocus and wild-eyed physics wizardry. Give it up for that pistol-packing, rootin'-tootin', sharp-shooting, modern-day Annie Oakley, our hometown heroine, locked and loaded, Lexi Larsen!
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate it. it. But for this little experiment, the physics doc asked that I make sure my 6-shooters aren't loaded. So I double, triple, and what comes after triple, Doc? Oh yeah, quadruple check them. And sure enough, these beauties are as empty as an electronics store truck carrying only American-made goods.
Yes. Thank you. I saw your show earlier this evening when you shot up every tin can and bottle to be found. I'm sure there isn't a single bullet left in the county, and my ears are ringing to prove it. Anyway, if I may have one of your lovely guns? Is that pearl on the handles? My, and your initials in diamonds. Don't worry, I'll handle it with care. It's going to be teleported just 20 feet across the stage from this sender unit to that receiver unit.
Well, Doc, you make sure it gets where it's going, 'cause that little beauty costs more than a physics jockey makes in a year.
Yes, I have no doubt. Now, I'll just place it inside the teleporter, then lock the door so it's nice and secure. Ladies and gentlemen, and Lexi, through the miracle of modern physics, my teleportation device, the only one in this galaxy, I assure you, will break down Lexi Larsen's ultra-expensive pistol into its component subatomic particles, whiz them across the stage through subspace, and collect and reassemble them in the receiver unit.
Will it put them atomic thingies back in the right order? I don't want my pearl-handed, diamond-studded prize 6-shooter coming out of that box looking like some kind of tacky lamp.
Tacky, I can't control. But I give you my personal assurance it will arrive in the same condition it leaves. I have left nothing to chance. Physics is as physics does, and I'm going to do it to your pistol right now. I merely need to press the activator button here, on top of the unit. And now, I reopen the teleporter door. Look, Lexi, and please verify to our audience that the teleportation chamber is completely empty. The pistol is gone.
Well, yes, sir, Buckaroo. It's vamoosed.
Of course it has. I've beamed it away as slick as Scotty ever did to Captain Kirk. Let's go and get it from the receiver, Miss Lexi. I'm sure you're eager to have it back.
Partner, I just hope it's all in one piece. For your sake, I mean.
Let me just unlock this door. Now open it up. And there. Wait. Something's going on.
It's not in there. Where's my pistol?
I don't understand. It has to be here. It has to be.
It better be here. What kind of a 2-bit rodeo is this? You'd better find my pistol pronto, partner.
The show will continue in a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, after we clear the stage. Aren't those two something? What a show! Who saw that coming? Give them a big hand.
It was a total disaster. The gun was gone without a trace, as was my reputation as a scientist. My reputation, my dignity, my standing at the university and in the community, all gone without a trace.
It wasn't all that bad, cowboy. Of course, they hadn't let me in on the trick, so I was just going along with it until the pistol didn't show up where it was supposed to.
Watkins had built the boxes with hidden trapdoors on the bottom, accessible from within the table. From below the stage, he'd take the pistol from one box and place it in the other, a type of magic trick he'd performed many times before.
But this time, something boxed up the works. My pistol really disappeared. And believe me, that weren't no play acting when I realized it was gone. I was madder than a wild bronco that's backed into a cactus.
Willie Watkins was as perplexed as I was. He said when he went to take the pistol from the bottom of the first box, it wasn't there. I had just put it there 15 seconds before.
So, the astonishing Watkins astonished himself?
Only temporarily, Lady Jane. Late that night, he showed up at my apartment in a very excited state.
Doc! You won't believe this! I've got the pistol!
What? Where was it? Let me see.
Here it is! All shiny and sparkly, just like it was!
No mistaking it. That's Lexi's pistol. Bless you, Willie. Where did you get it?
I got it from some guy at the fair. But listen, here's the important part. Your machine works.
What are you talking about? What machine?
Your magic teleporting machine, of course. It works. It sent Lexi's pistol across the fairgrounds.
Willie, you're talking nonsense. That wasn't actually a teleporter. You should know. You helped me build it. It was just a bunch of lights and buzzers and whistles and diodes and capacitors and heaven knows what.
Well, Doc, you better know what. Because I'm telling you, it works. Listen, after the show, as Lexi and I crossed the fairgrounds, we passed a young couple near the exit sitting on a bench. They had seen Lexi's afternoon target shooting exhibition. They recognized her and called her over. They had Lexi's pistol.
You mean they had somehow stolen it?
Jeez, Doc, your faith in humanity is really touching. No, they hadn't stolen it. They said they were sitting near the hot dog stand around 6 o'clock, the same time we were doing your teleportation thing, when suddenly they heard a sharp pop like a small firecracker, and the pistol just appeared on the bench between them. 1 second it wasn't there, the next it was. They immediately recognized it as Lexi's pistol.
What? Let me get this straight. They were all the way across the fairgrounds, near the hot dog stand, when we were faking the pistol teleportation and Lexi's pistol just suddenly popped out of nowhere onto the bench?
Yes! Doc, you must have actually teleported the pistol. Lexi let me bring it over here, but I promised to return it in the morning.
This doesn't make sense. It can't be. Wait a minute. How do you know they were telling the truth? Maybe they had stolen it.
Think for a minute, Doc. They called us over and gave us the gun. They could have just let us pass by. Besides, you don't work magic in carnival shows without being able to read people. No, they were telling the truth, all right. Which means your machine works. All that talk about equations and particles and waves is fine, but you actually built a working unit. Better clear a shelf for that Nobel Prize, Doc. You're a genius!
No, I'm an idiot. I don't have the box anymore. Come into the family room.
Doc! This junk all over the floor!
Yes. This pile of junk is my teleporter. Willie, don't you see? I was humiliated today. I made a fool of myself in front of half the county. I knew this would also be a black mark on me at the university. So I brought the confounded thing home, and I destroyed it. I tore it to pieces, Willie, and then I smashed the pieces.
Doc! Get a hold of yourself! You can just build another one. Just build one like you did the first time.
No, Willie, you don't understand. I can't build another one. I just threw a bunch of parts together. I had no design to work from, and I made no record of what I had done. It was just a bunch of noisemakers and lights and circuits and useless items. I could never recreate it.
Never's a long time, Doc. And I reiterate, you're a genius. I knew that when we were kids. And I know it now. Listen, Doc, don't you think it was maybe your subconscious at work? All year playing with your equations and theories and thinking about a teleporter? Isn't that the way genius works? Your subconscious mind mulls it all over in the background and comes up with a solution long before you realize it.
I don't know, Willie. That's a mighty big leap.
Which is exactly what genius minds do. They take big leaps. I'm convinced that when you put that thing together, it was your subconscious telling you what to do. And you can do it again, Doc. It might take a while, but you can do it. Now that you know it can be done, this can be your legacy.
You're right about one thing. This pile of rubble is my legacy. Can't you see? This is my legacy, my reputation, my career. That's what this trash heap is. I'm ruined, Willie. Ruined for life. Oh, Willie, heaven help me. I'm ruined for life.
Maybe someone better refill his mug with espresso this time. I think he needs it after that.
No, I'm fine, thank you. Fortunately, the astounding Watkins turned out to be a better soothsayer than I am. My life was not ruined, though I can say it was bruised, as was my ego. It was terrible going at first. I had lost confidence in myself. I prayed daily for guidance. And of course my old friend Willie believed in me, even when I didn't. I gradually began to believe that Willie may have been right about the subconscious mind thing. I pulled out of my nosedive and got on the right track again.
Mixed metaphors aside, I'll admit you obviously got over your bruising and put together at least some semblance of a life.
Now mustn't be so harsh with Brother Moriarty. He's a fine scholar and a credit to the club. And I understand he has a swell little workshop at the university.
Thank you, Colonel. Yes, I threw myself into my work, despite some lingering doubts that haunted me from time to time. Thank heaven my friend Willie was always there for me, like an angel sent from heaven to reassure and encourage me.
Saint Willie the Conjurer, muse to the stars. Oh, please spare us.
You can be as cynical as you like, Beaumont. That doesn't change the fact that he helped save my career and my sanity in the process.
Well, Mr. Beaumont, I say let's just let him ride this Palomino into the corral and see where he ends up.
Thank you, Lexi. Now, some of you may recall that a few years back, while working on the new teleporter, I developed the equations that led to a new energy source. The quantum battery I developed revolutionized the electric car industry. It also put feathers in the caps of myself and the university, as well as putting a few dollars in my pocket. But the biggest benefit was the boost to my confidence.
But surely you don't expect us to believe that your glorified flashing toaster actually beamed things.
It absolutely did. Lexi, tell them.
Well, I'll say he told the straight truth about the goings-on that night. And it looked to me like he skedaddled my pistol like never before or since. But I'm no science gal, just the best dead-eye shot around.
I've spent the last 20 years pursuing what I had already achieved. I've refined and perfected the theory of teleportation, reworked the equations up, down, and around the town, and I've worked incessantly on the hardware. I'm on the threshold of another working prototype. I admit, though, there were dark days. At times my life was total darkness, with nothing to illuminate the path forward. I had to rely on faith. Faith in myself, and faith that I was put on this earth for a purpose. And now I'm within sight of fulfilling my potential.
As I sipped the last of my rich dark brew, I looked around the room and saw contentment on the faces of my fellow Tall Tales Club members. And it wasn't just from the superior coffee and pastries. No, I believe it was from the shared experience of a fellow traveler on this lonely rock in our immense enigmatic universe. And who's to say what can or can't happen in such a creation? As Dr. Moriarty said, it often seems life is a journey where we're traveling in the dark. Doesn't it, dear listeners? Or is it that we are blind to the light trying to shine into our lives? The good professor appears to have been on both sides of that equation during his lifetime. He ultimately found his way, in no small part through the wonderful gift that life sometimes bestows, known as friendship. Now, what of Dr. Moriarty's teleporter? Was it just a carnival contraption? Or did he actually achieve a tremendous breakthrough in the realm of physics? Might mankind one day be the beneficiary of his genius? What do you think? That was Stories from the Tall Tales Club, Episode 3, Gone Without a Trace. Written by Joe Potts. Cast members in order of appearance: Paul Fox as Dr. James Moriarty, Peg Bryan as Lady Jane, Joe Potts as the narrator, David Seremet as Pascal Beaumont, Scott Walton as Colonel Krinkle, Dana Flowers as Lexi Larsen, Bryan Panichelle as Wilson Watkins. Directed by Karrie Fetter. Produced by Thomas Marinchak. Our audio technician was Matthew Mann. Sound design by Matthew Mann and Jacob Gorsich. Music by Matthew Mann. A production of We Are One Body Audio Theater.